Greetings, B-movie aficionados.
Hello, welcome to A Couple of Flicks. I am Tristan.
I'm Nick.
And I'm Zach.
And today we're going to be having a double feature discussion on two very special movies, I would say.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and what makes them special, you might ask? Well, they're pandemic movies. So this is part one of our pandemic episode.
Wait, hold on. I gotta do something.
Yeah. Yeah.
Gotta be prepared.
That's funny.
No.
Good thinking. Good thinking. Although it might be a little bit harder to hear our voices through the masks, but
Right.
So yeah, this is part one. Part two, we have something that we'll reveal to the audience later, but yeah, at the end of the episode. But before we get into that, how are you both?
Good.
Yeah. Not bad, not bad. You?
Good. Have you watched anything interesting lately?
I saw the new Ant-Man earlier today.
Cool.
How was it?
Not bad. I know a lot of people are shitting on it because they're getting a Marvel fatigue, but
yeah,
I always have a good time with them, no matter how good or bad they are.
I
remember a lot of
Paul Rudd's cool.
I remember a lot of people didn't like the second one, but I didn't think it was that bad. It was like, I don't know. It was entertaining. It wasn't boring or anything. So I think people just have unrealistic expectations these days. But
yeah, especially at this point with Marvel.
Yeah.
But this one pretty much sets up the next big bad. So for the coming movies.
Cool. How are the effects?
Not bad. I mean, it's all on a green screen, which is a lot of people's complaints. But like, how else are you gonna do the fucking quantum realm? Like,
yeah, that's strange. I don't know. I mean, the other ones kind of did a lot of the same stuff. So,
yeah.
Yeah. I mean, like you said, it is probably Marvel fatigue. So.
Yeah, that's pretty much all I've watched. Been playing a lot of Hogwarts Legacy, so
yeah,
very cool.
Too. Yeah, all I've watched is Harry Potter's, I think, because I've been playing it and watching them.
Nice.
How many have you watched? All of them, or just like the first
no,
few?
I'm on the last one. I'll finish
nice.
that up in the next couple of days. Yeah.
All right.
They're decent movies too.
Yeah, I saw like the first three in the theater when I was a kid, and I enjoyed those.
Yeah, I think I saw them all in theaters. Pretty sure.
Yeah. I didn't see past the fourth one. Like I fell asleep during the fourth one, and then I just never finished the films. But I read all the books though, so.
So you haven't finished the movies or seen all the movies?
Not yet, but I will at some point, because I have been kind of feeling like more and more like rewatching it lately, you know, just because it's so popular these days, you know.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
You know, and I work at a bookstore that sells kids books, and I don't know, a lot of people are buying them up again. So.
Oh, interesting.
All right. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, I watched a new horror movie, The Outwaters. Which I guess is not really super well liked, although I actually found it pretty damn scary. It's like doesn't really have a plot. It's pretty much just like about a group of friends that like go to the Mojave Desert to shoot a music video, and it's like a found footage style horror film.
I think I've seen the trailer for that one.
Yeah. The second half of it is really unusual. Like shit goes wrong, but I'm not exactly 100% sure how. Like it's like one of those real disorienting types of horror movies that doesn't really make a whole lot of sense. I think like I think the reason a lot of people don't like it is because it's a film that relies a lot on like sound design. Because there's a lot of like long sequences where you like barely see anything, where everything is lit by like just a flashlight and that's it. And so like it's the type of movie that I guess it kind of betrays the visual medium in a sense of like film, but I don't know. I still found it really scary. So I mean, I guess it's because I have a really overactive imagination, but
Yeah, I've heard the same about that new Skinamarink movie.
yeah, I've seen that being compared to Wavelength.
Hmm.
This is like just a film of just a wall with a
Oh,
picture on
okay.
it, you know.
So not quite like that movie.
Yeah, but I guess like it gets compared to that a lot because like most of it is like shots of interiors. But I I looked up the director of what's it Skinamarink.
Skinamarink. Yeah.
Yeah. I looked up the director's short films and they're pretty creepy. And pretty much all of them are like that. So like I pretty much have a good idea of what to expect from it. It's like a feature length version of that type of thing. You know, it's like basically like experimental horror. I don't know. I'd check it out.
Yeah. See what all the fuss is about.
Sounds
Yeah,
interesting.
yeah. I think when it comes to like movies like that, it really does help to go in with an open mind. So, but anyway, now I guess we gotta dive into these movies a little bit. And I did choose one, but I'm not gonna talk about my choice until the end of the episode. Because that kind of is what's involved with part two. So we'll talk about yours first, Nick.
Okay. My choice was Last the Night. I wanted to initially choose a movie that was at least filmed during the pandemic, and I believe
Yeah.
this one had to be. Felt like one that was filmed. I was almost going to choose that Judd Apatow movie because I've heard it was shitty, but
Oh yeah,
I
it
decided
was.
against it. Yeah, I almost
What
chose that one.
which one was that one called?
The Bubble.
The Bubble, yes, The Bubble.
Oh yeah, yeah. Okay,
That
yeah.
was
I heard it was really
that was
bad.
one of the worst movies I saw of last year.
Shit.
Oh,
Yeah.
crap.
I didn't see it. Yeah.
And I was
And last year you,
because
yeah,
Judd Apatow.
He usually makes good movies. Usually.
Yeah.
last year you saw Food Fight, so it's like kind of intense to think about. Was it worse than Food Fight? Like, I mean, I know they're two different kinds of movies, but in your
I mean,
opinion,
I enjoyed Food Fight because of how shitty it was.
Yeah.
But The Bubble's a different kind of shitty.
mm,
Not
yeah.
Like-
fine.
Like a cringe.
Oh,
A lot of
like bad
cringe.
comedy.
Yeah.
Nothing worse than a bad comedy. Oh.
It's like you don't connect with any of the characters. Like, oh, rich people trying to live through the pandemic, whatever.
Yeah, whole movie could just be about people in mansions singing Imagine, basically.
Yeah.
So this movie, I just chose it out of that list you sent over, Zach. Just I don't know. I want to say I heard it, the name at least, but it's also a fairly generic name, so
Yeah.
this could be it as well.
Yeah.
It's about a school teacher, a revenge movie about a school teacher that just kills his students because they were talking shit about it on Zoom.
Yeah, and the school teacher, I don't remember the actor's name. I think he was in like Beverly Hills 90210.
Brian
Yeah.
Austin Green.
Yeah, I'd
I
seen him
know
in
him-
something.
I actually knew him from the Sarah Connor Chronicles, the Terminator TV show that came out a while back.
Oh yeah,
That show was actually really good. It was just another Fox show that got canceled when it started actually picking up steam and shit.
yeah. I actually finally watched that. I think I might have watched it on your recommendation actually, but yeah, no, I agree. That was a good show.
Yeah, he played John Connor's uncle or whatever from the
Yeah.
future. That's about it's like the only notable actor. He's been in a few like drama, whatever 90210 or shit like that. I guess he's a
Yeah.
rapper too. It's what his IMDb says.
Excellent.
Yeah. His
Have to check out his stuff.
yeah, his dad was some type of musician as well. I think country music or something though.
Okay.
And I'd say he was the best in this movie. There's only like 5 actors total, but he was probably the best of them all.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would agree. His casting was probably the best. Like, I mean, obviously, he's probably the only name in the movie. I think I didn't really recognize anybody else.
Yeah,
Yeah, but he actually did a good job playing a teacher. Like, he had that
Yeah.
kind of, that presence. Yeah.
And the casting was real bad too. Like these are because at first I thought he was like teaching a college course. Because the first Zoom meeting we see is just a bunch of like 30-year-olds.
Yeah,
Like one of those movies where they hired 30-year-olds to play high schoolers.
yeah, and you can only tell they're in high school because they start making sex jokes.
Mm-hmm. Just being little dicks on Zoom. It was, it was bad. Like that one guy that was just being the class clown on Zoom was so annoying.
Oh yeah, speaking of little dicks, yeah, he was definitely the most annoying character in the whole movie.
Yeah.
Although he got, well, I mean, I guess spoilers, but I'd say he got a pretty horrible death scene though. Anyway,
Yeah.
but go on. Sorry.
So yeah, it's about Brian Austin Green's character. He's a bad dude. Like I couldn't really tell who is, like they all are shitty people, I feel. And
Yeah.
He's like a ex, like his ex-wife has his daughter because he had some anger management issues, and he's see him drinking throughout the first few scenes. So he's like a drunk high school loser teacher guy.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely like kind of somebody who, like, you could tell just kind of bottles it all in most of the time when he should be like just seeing a therapist or getting like serious help, because apparently I mean, even the students talk about like rumors that he has anger problems and stuff, which that's part of what he overhears, I guess. Like,
yeah. And there are 4 main students. I don't really know their names at all. There's the little dick guy. There's like a theater girl. I don't know, a smart girl, and then some dude that likes paintball.
Pretty much, yeah. And I guess
as deep as their characteristics go.
Yeah, the annoying dude is dating the theater lady, and the smart girl is dating the paintball dude, basically.
Yeah, they're going to date. They're flirting. But the other 2 are dating, the theater girl and the douchebag.
Okay. But there's like some tension. Yeah. All right.
Yeah, because he's a douchebag.
Yeah.
We get a lot of them just talking about stupid shit in the beginning.
Yeah. Talking about how annoying the pandemic is.
Yeah, there's
how
a lot of that.
Yeah.
I couldn't tell if the movie was trying to like rag on the pandemic, or if it was because all the people that were complaining about the pandemic were kind of assholes themselves. And anyone that was like the mom was like, we're gonna wear a mask? And the guy was like, nah, I sit in my room, I don't need to. And then there's just like these random passerbyers who are like, hey, you should mask up, and the teens are just like dicks to them. So it's like I couldn't tell if they were making fun of the pandemic or saying these guys are assholes.
Yeah, I had a lot of confusion about that as well.
Both maybe.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it is ultimate. I think it is trying to kind of be both, but the movie, like, I think that the bigger problem with the movie has to do with kind of the main character, school teacher, and what the film kind of thinks of him, because it's clear that the film doesn't really like any of the other characters, but with him, it kind of it tries to have it both ways, So, but anyway,
yeah. Because we get a lot of him, and even though he's like because it's like a slasher type ish, where he's just hunting down these kids. So we do get to actually see a lot of him, and
yeah, there's also like I mean really the only character at the end in the end that I liked in the entire movie was the security guard.
Yeah, he was
Uh,
cool.
Just
yeah.
trying to smoke up.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it was funny.
smoking on the job.
He
Mhm.
was smoking. Yeah, he was smoking and talking to like one of his buddies about starting a podcast.
Yeah, definitely the easiest character to relate to,
Yeah,
for
yeah.
sure. Yeah.
So the movie, yeah, he's teaching class. They go out into breakout rooms or whatever to discuss some group assignment, and yeah, the four main characters decide they want to party slash it turns into just them wanting to play paintball in the school because the paintball guy's mom works at the school in the guidance counselor room, and she informed him that it's going to be empty because there was an outbreak, or not the security guard but the maintenance guy got it, so
Yeah.
it would be empty.
Which
And
I still think it'd be kind of a dumb idea to like play paintball in a school, just because like mainly because like a school would probably be too big actually. Like with a paintball area, you kind of want to like have a decent amount of space to hide and stuff like that. But
you
with
want some
like
cover.
yeah,
Wouldn't be
with
that
with
much
a high
cover
school, you
there.
could just like hide in the locker or something. It just I don't know.
Yeah, especially with
Although
like 4 people.
yeah. Um, although I will say because there's another movie, Class of 1999, Part Two, The Substitute, which kind of has a similar plot about people playing paintball in a school. Um, but in that movie, it made I'd say it was like a military school, but it still like didn't really make any sense for them to be playing paintball in a place that's like well lit and all this stuff. Like it just seemed you need like a different type of environment for that. Maybe it's because like I like watching paintball tournaments and stuff, but there's like
Oh,
a William Shatner splat attack paintball movie. But
and you
anyway, I
got
don't want
the paintball episodes of Community.
Oh
to.
yeah,
Yeah,
those are great.
those are probably the best
Yeah.
examples.
Paintball in school.
Yeah,
That's when it works, but not for this.
Yeah, high
Yeah.
fantasy type shit. Yeah. So well, I guess I'll say that there's also just a little subplot of him not being able to see his daughter, and he is kind of creepy how he handles that. He like fucking he tries to return his wife's bike, and she's like, "Nah, keep it." And then a couple days later, he fucking like something out like what the fucking the Godfather horse scene. He rings the doorbell and then leaves the disassembled bike in her yard. Like
yeah.
like
It's
a
like a
real
big,
creep.
yeah, it's like a big scary moment. Although that doesn't happen until after he kind of has his Joker moment. Yeah, so
His Joker moment, which
like when he finally like turns and becomes like when he finally like has had enough. Or
oh
I guess Joker's a bad example. Falling down, I guess, is a better example where like loose
yeah,
cannon can't take it anymore.
he was getting followed by a car, like a car with him. He was running down, like jogging down an alley for exercise or whatever, and some car just kind of, and it was down an alley too, so I don't know why a car would be really driving behind him, but
Yeah,
they honked
yeah,
at him and he just beat the shit out of the driver.
yeah, yeah. Which I thought was a great scene because the guy was being a douchebag. Although he shouldn't have hit the guy's car, obviously,
Yeah.
But the reason he was jogging was because he was all stressed out and pissed off because of the Zoom call and
Yeah.
what he overheard them saying.
Yeah, so he was given a little favoritism to like the smart girl or whatever, and then the other kids made fun of him for it, and he was like muted or hiding in the Zoom room and listened to him talk shit about him.
To be honest, I didn't even pick up on the fact that he was doing that. Like the movie did kind of show like a couple of times when the Zoom calls that like he was like trying to get her to talk more and stuff like that. But she was kind of being annoying by saying I don't know all the time. So like when you're a teacher, you kind of have to like encourage students to talk more. So I just thought that was him trying to like get her to actually like share her thoughts. And it wasn't until he made that comment, like, you know, I don't agree with what you say all the time, but I'm happy that you express your opinion or whatever. Like, I didn't pick up on that as being like flirtatious or like favoritism or whatever, but I guess they did. And I guess the movie presumed that to be the case too, ultimately at the end, plot
Yeah.
twist. But
I didn't either, really. Like, it was, yeah, it was. I just thought, like, oh, she's the only one really talking in the Zoom room, so he might as well go to her to get the conversation going. But I
yeah,
kind of got the idea because, like, the kid, like, they showed the kid's face, or at least the douchebag's face, like, oh, why is he, going to her so much? But
yeah.
I didn't get from him. I didn't get like that he was flirting with her until the
Yeah.
end, of course.
I just thought they were all being just really dumb, gross teenagers.
Yeah, me too. So they go to the school, they break in, and they play some paint. Well, they start. I don't know. They're just being. What? How does it go? Like, they dodge the security guard. For, I
Oh,
don't know. A
that
good
was a dumb
5-minute
scene.
filler.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I hated that.
Like, oh, might as well check out this bus.
Yeah,
No
Yeah.
reason to, but I'm gonna do it anyways.
and they just hide under the bus too. Like,
Yeah, and you can plainly see their feet. Like
Mhm.
it's like they like stand out so badly. It's I don't know. That scene annoyed me.
Yeah.
So
Unneeded. Oh, I guess it needed to hit 88 minutes. So had to do something.
yeah. Otherwise, the movie would have been too short.
They break in, drink, take a shower.
It's true. They do all of those things. At one
Yeah.
point, they even sing.
Yeah. The theater girl then recites a Macbeth scene. She was Lady Macbeth, and then the teacher guy shows up, blasts the light on her.
Yeah. At
And
first, he acts kind of friendly, like, "Hey, I
"Oh,
want to
cool.
join."
Hey, fellow
Yeah.
kids.
Yeah. Like, exactly. He does the whole "hey fellow kids" thing, basically, just trying to be like the cool guy.
Cool
Even though he
teacher.
just took their pictures with his cell phone, like, as you know,
Blackmail, yeah.
yeah. But he's like, yeah, no, I just want to play with you guys. This is just like a flashback for me. To be, hanging out with you cool dudes and paintballing it up in the school hallways. Just all that stuff. At one point, he makes fun of the principal, which is like, oh yeah, I'm one of you guys. I'm cool.
Mhm.
He acts all friendly. So, and they get into teams. He
Mhm.
pairs up with the douchey dude. They hide in the classroom, and I guess I forget exactly. I don't know. It wasn't really. The movie didn't do that good a job of explaining it, but I guess somehow that guy screwed up. I think he like accidentally shoots himself with the
Yeah,
paintball.
he does, and
Yeah.
the smart girl, gets the flag. I don't know if that means they won though. I usually do capture the flag. You take it back to your base to
Yeah.
win, but they kind of just ended it there.
Yeah.
Like, so.
Oh, and before that, he made them lock their phones in the locker.
Oh right, yes.
Oh, that does
Important
turn out to be
detail.
important. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, so I wasn't sure whether they're just gonna do paintball the whole time, and it was like a I don't know, a red herring or something, but no. He makes them lock them in for the excuse that, oh, we don't want you tipping off your teammates where people are and stuff. And even the paintball dude says, yeah, it happens in the real game too. So he's like, yes,
Yeah.
thank you.
Yeah, that's the rules.
Mm-hmm.
Like red flag number 1.
Yeah.
Yeah, for real. I mean, the
Especially-
guy's. Yeah.
Especially if he locks the thing. Like,
Yeah. That was
So-
like, well, you didn't need to lock it. Just throw them in there. That'd be fine enough for this
Yeah.
game.
Yeah. So then new teams.
New
This
teams,
is-
kind of, yeah.
This is when things start to get serious.
Yeah, they do new teams, him against them.
Yeah.
They don't
But at
want
first, well, but before that happens, though, like he has the smart girl be on his team, and then he notices the douchey guy like give a weird look, and he's like, "What did I say something funny?" And that's when he reveals to them that he overheard them talking about how he has a crush on her, and that's when he starts like he basically says that he doesn't trust them and that he thinks that they're gonna like falsely accuse him of sex abuse and all this stuff.
Yep.
And so that's when he kind of becomes a threat, because he's like, all right, I'm going solo on this one, so you guys better
He's like,
hide.
just kidding.
Yeah.
Play
Yeah.
again.
He tries to lull them into a false sense of security, and then he walks away and tells them to go hide, which is like, uh-oh.
They weren't having any of that though. They was like, okay, fuck this, let's get out of here.
Yeah, but plot twist.
Yeah, they
doors are
try. Yeah, all the doors are locked, and they start freaking out.
And there's apparently barbed wire on the windows.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was
even though every window you see is just a normal window.
Yeah, they could have found a window to escape out of. I highly doubt that he wrapped barbed wire.
The window on the door that the security guard got shot at.
Oh yeah, there you go. Like that didn't. I don't know. There were so many windows they could have broken in that school to escape.
They didn't try very hard. Yeah.
Yeah. And the one girl gets fixated on like getting her cell phone.
Yeah, she need the theater girl, popular-ish girl. I don't know. That's what she was kind of. She needed her phone.
Yeah.
She's obsessed with getting her phone back, even though everyone was like, "No, let's get the fuck out of here." She's like, "No, I need my phone." And they even like asked her why, and she was just like, "Cause I do. I don't know. I just need it."
Because I need it. Yeah.
Most people are now, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But like another commentary thing they were trying to do.
Yeah.
I guess so. Yeah. I thought it was just the character being stupid, but in hindsight, yeah, maybe it was trying to say something. Because it does honestly start to get like absurdly stupid. Because like he does start shooting at them. Like he literally starts blowing holes in the glass next to them, and she still is trying to get her cell phone out. And it's like, are you serious? Like this guy's shooting at you, and you're still trying to get your cell phone out of your locker? Like,
yeah, even
you
after
should be running and hiding.
Even after that douche guy was shot, I feel like she went back once more at least to try and grab it.
Yeah, he gets shot, and it's like this big crazy thing because they gotta drag him away to somewhere, and
so yeah, he shoots the douchebag guy. And they're like, "What the hell? That's not paint. This is blood." They drag him into some bathroom where he dies.
Yeah, he just bleeds to death really slowly. Like he's like, "Oh, I'm lightheaded," and they just kind of ignore him, and then eventually he's just dead.
And they just leave him there too.
Yeah.
I think during that too is when they try and signal down the security guard, and then
this was the nastiest death scene in the movie, I thought.
Yeah, he gets blasted in the back by a shotgun, and then I don't think you can he just one hands the shotgun down to his face. I was like, oh, that would not work well.
Fly out of your hands.
Yeah.
Exactly.
No, it looked badass, so it worked.
Yeah. It was a good gore effect, So.
Yeah.
You don't see where he exits the school either, which kind of annoyed me.
Yeah.
Oh,
I was like, how did he get out there?
Yeah, like at least show the audience, like.
Yeah, that was distracting. I have to admit, because I thought that was going to lead somewhere, and then it just didn't.
Yeah, because if you show the audience, we're gonna think, oh, they're gonna find that, or at least try to find that way out. But no, they're just going past windows they could break instead.
Yeah. The only thing I can think of, I thought way too much about this movie, but like the only thing I could think of was that by the time he started shooting at them and killing them, he wasn't actually done locking and bolting the doors. And maybe that door that he left out of to kill the maintenance man was like the last door that he had to lock. That's the only explanation I could think of. But they don't show that, so you know.
I mean, technically, the way he was doing it too was locking them from the outside, so he couldn't really do it, right? He would have to at least leave, unless he. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
Good
he'd
luck.
have to, because they would be able to bust the bolt. Oh well, I guess they kind of, well, I don't know. It's a little confusing, but in general, it seems like the doors are bolted from the outside. So anyway,
So they get split up. Oh yeah, because the paintball dude tries to sacrifice himself or whatever.
yeah, there's
Yeah, because the girl, the theater girl, just trips and falls and hurts her ankle, of course, because she had to. I don't know. She had
yeah,
a
I guess so.
nothing. She didn't trip on anything. She just kind of fell over herself.
Close enough to a
Yeah,
slasher where you got to do it.
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Slasher
That'll
with
teach kids.
guns.
It'll teach kids to not run in the schools of the hallway. You know?
Yeah, there you go.
Um, Oh yeah, okay, I remember now. Yeah, because that's when she's like, "Oh, I just remembered. There's an exit in the back of the auditorium or something
Yeah,
like that.
that leads
Maybe
to
he
the
didn't
roof
find
or
it."
whatever.
Yeah,
Yeah. Does he get shot? I think. I mean, the paintball dude gets shot and dies too.
yeah, that
During
does
that,
eventually happen. I
I
think
don't
it
know if it's
happened.
before or after. I think it's at.
I think it's after the other girl dies. I'm pretty sure. I saw it this morning. The thing is, those two death scenes kind of happen like one after the other, so
Yeah,
I guess it doesn't really matter. They could have
it
happened
doesn't.
in
No.
reverse order, but
Yeah, but like, so this is also a weird thing too. Is so the way so they get to the auditorium or whatever the theater place. The door is locked. She leaves the other girl on the just like, okay, I'm hurt. You go check it out. So she
yeah,
tries. It's locked. Maintenance locked, and then she just turns around. It was like 2 minutes at most in real time. She's gone, and then out of like she's apparently in the like the teacher grabbed her, put her in a full Abraham Lincoln getup, fake beard and all, next to the dead dude.
yeah,
And it was like in the movie time, it was 15, 20, 30 seconds at most. But he had
yeah,
time to grab her, snatch her up quietly, drag her up to like it was not even just in the random like in the front row. It was way up on like the second floor balcony.
yeah.
put her in a outfit, dagger. It was like
You can see where this is going.
she would have had to be like trying that door for 15, 20 minutes for her to for that to be set up. And she's like, okay.
Yeah, I agree.
Uh
Although it did lead to actually a pretty interesting, like kind of a funny scene where he's like, he starts basically, he throws her a pop quiz,
yep.
basically, like a 3-question pop quiz.
Yep.
Yeah.
It was about Lincoln more. It was like who
Yeah. Who
was
freed
it?
the slaves?
Who freed the slaves? Lincoln. What war did he partake in? And then
Yeah, the Civil
Who
War.
assassinated him?
yeah, and then who
Yeah.
assassinated him? And he
Yeah.
gives her a hint that it's 3 names, and she says Lee Harvey Oswald.
Wrong
like,
answer.
Close.
Yeah, that was probably my favorite scene in the movie, just because like I don't know, I just thought that was kind of funny that she got the names mixed up, like the 3 name thing, because that's something conspiracy theorists always talk about. It's like, oh, the guy who killed Lincoln and the guy who killed JFK, they had 3 names. That means that it's all connected. Oh.
Yeah.
And like, so that was just, I don't know, it just made me think of that.
Yeah, and the smart girl was like, no, you're wrong. And then pop.
Yeah, and at one point she even says, "Oh, I know this." Yeah.
Yep. She didn't know. She was close, kinda, I guess.
Yeah. It's because they like earlier in the movie they were all talking shit about George Washington, or one of them was like the douchey guy,
the douche
whatever
guy
his name is.
Called him a
douche
bitch.
guy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think that might have even been like the first line in the movie was George Washington's a bitch.
Yeah.
I think so, yeah.
It was the first note I had. It's literally just Washington is a bitch.
Yeah. Okay, so yeah, then this is around the time that the paintball guy goes to look for the burner phone that his coach has in his drawer in his office or something.
Yeah, yep.
Okay. And that's when he gets
it.
shot.
Yeah, that's when he finds the Yeah, he finds the phone and calls him, or
Right.
calls 911, but like
Yeah.
he stutters over his words for like a good 10 seconds, so he can't really tell him. He's like, yeah, some guy's killing me. Yeah, they're trying to kill us. And so he has time to tell him where they are, but
Yeah.
he can't get the words out before he gets blasted.
Yeah. That was that was another pretty brutal death scene. All the actually, I'd have to say that the death scenes in this movie, for the most part, are all pretty brutal. So that's one thing the film does, pretty effectively. So
Yeah, not too bad, I guess.
yeah, but it's not like over the top either. Like it's not like blood and guts all over the place or anything like that. Like it doesn't really go the exploitation route either. It's like
yeah,
it's like a good
show.
balance, where it's like it doesn't like downplay the severity of it, but at the same time, like the makeup effects look pretty decent for the most part, or not the makeup effects, but the blood effects, really, because that's mostly it.
Yeah, it's not too bad. Let's see. He's dead. The movie's wrapping up, I guess. More or
Yeah, so this
less.
is when I thought it actually could have been interesting. So
So it's just the smart girl left, of course, as it always is.
yeah,
She, I don't know, is running from him. She finds a vent. Oh, and throughout the movie too, there's like these weird like flashback type things, PTSD type, but it's like it's never explained. Like, does he have PTSD or something? No, it's just like flashes of him yelling. Like, what the fuck?
yeah, he's traumatized by himself, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, and you see her doing a little flashback of him like saying, "You gotta be smart and tactical to win," and then so you see her come up with a plan. I don't know. She just
Yeah.
finds a vent.
Yeah, she like starts using his own words to inspire herself, which I was like, what? Okay. You're like, it's like, oh, what could I do? What could I do? And then she starts thinking about what the killer told her to do.
Yeah.
It's like, that's kind of different.
Yeah, and all she does is like throw the flag from the game on the barbed wire of the fence, which just distracts him for a few minutes because she goes right because she can't climb over the fence. She goes right back in the school.
Yeah. Somehow she finds bolt cutters.
Yeah, they were in the
That guy grabbed him before he got shot.
the paintball
Okay.
dude had him
Yeah.
before, so she
Oh,
finds his body and the phone and the bolt
okay.
cutters.
That makes sense. Yeah. I
Yeah,
forgot
that's
about
about
that. Okay.
And she gets the bolt cutters, the phone off him, escapes, gets out into the football field, basically.
Yeah. Yeah. He takes his time getting out there.
But he beat her out there somehow too, as well.
Yeah. Yeah. Before he goes out, he calls his wife and like says goodbye to his daughter and all that. And, like, it's like this real sad moment. Like I thought that the movie was gonna try and like go with the angle of like him just that like he was a good person, but then like circumstances turned him bad. That's what I thought the film was going for. But then it did a total 180 in the next scene. So
yeah, he was gonna off himself too. Until like she broke the doors open with the bolt cutters, and he's like, "What was that? Huh? Oh, I still have a chance. Okay."
yeah,
Because he thought she got away, but no, she didn't.
right.
So he confronts her on the football field and basically admits that yes, he did have a crush on her. It was like, oh, all right. He's like, come on, let's run away. We can start a new life somewhere else.
Yeah.
And she's like, no, no thanks. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it kind of makes him less interesting when you find out that he's just been crazy the entire time, because then it's like, well, like then all the douchebags were kind of justified in hating him. It's like, I don't really like that. That kind of like, I don't know. It just, I don't know. It just wasn't very satisfying. I understand like they were because they wanted it to kind of have more of like a horror movie type of ending, but I don't know. I just think it would have been more interesting to kind of actually maybe explore that side of things a little bit, like what the pandemic actually might have done to some people and things like that. So that's what I
Yeah.
thought they were gonna do, but instead they were just like, no, pandemic was just the pandemic. Like it didn't end up actually being relevant to the plot really at all. So,
Yeah. Not really, yeah.
yeah.
And then yeah, lets it out, and then just gets shot by the police. The police
Yeah.
show up because she called the cops or whatever. He almost shoots her, but no, the cops save
Yep.
her.
So the movie ends with him being shot. The end.
After he says he did have a crush on her.
Yeah, he followed her on Instagram. It's
Oh
like,
right, there's
oh,
all that shit. Yeah,
Yeah.
he followed her on
oh man,
Instagram.
how dare you?
She gave him her number.
Yeah. And then he's like, why'd you give me your number? She's like, because I'm stupid.
I'm a
like,
stupid teenager.
Okay.
Valid excuse, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, at this point. Yeah.
They looked
But-
the same age, so who knows?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. I mean, that's the thing. Like, it's kind of hard to like be weirded out when everybody looks like they're in their 30s and 40s. It's just seems like crazy people.
Mhm.
That's about it.
I tried to look up the actors' ages, but there wasn't much info on them. Like the paintball dude was born in '91, so he's at least 30.
Yeah.
The other ones had like no info on their IMDb.
Yeah, they're all cosplaying as teenagers.
Yeah.
But that's yeah, I guess pretty much. So she lasted the night.
Mhm. The only one.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there you go. The title is accurate.
I'll say so.
Yeah. Was there anything else? I can't really think of anything else to it. Like, do you have any other notes or anything?
There was a funny CGI billboard that it was like,
Oh.
help stop the vid. It was
Oh,
CGI
yeah.
though. It was just like it was going over like some cityscape, and there's just a giant bad looking CGI billboard that just said help stop the vid.
Yeah. Yeah. I think I saw that. I watched this movie like this morning while I was still kind of waking up. Like my brain was kind of turning on slowly, and so there was probably some things that happened early on that I missed, but I think I got the general gist of what happened in it. I mean, I don't know. I didn't actually hate the movie that much. It was definitely dumb, but
Yeah.
like
Yeah, I
for
was
the
gonna
most.
say, yeah.
Oh yeah, go on.
As far as Tubi movies go, this was pretty good.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
it was still not great. You know,
yeah.
I'd rate it like a 1.5, maybe 2, I guess.
Yeah,
I'll give it a 2 because why
that's
not?
about what I would give it as well. It's more of a missed opportunity than it is like a bad movie. Like there's issues with it, but it's not like an epic disaster or anything. So
Yeah, it's just more like run of the mill generic. Looked nice ish.
yeah,
One actor was good.
yeah, definitely. I'd say the acting from him was probably my favorite part. But what about you, Zach? What'd you think of it overall?
Yeah, it was kind of average. Like it wasn't the worst. Definitely had a little bit more of production value than we're used to with Tubi movies.
Definitely.
But I gave it a 2 as well.
Nice.
Didn't love it, but I didn't hate it.
Yeah. Yep. Same.
Yeah, yeah. I think that's pretty fair overall. It's an entertaining little romp. It's, about a school shooter.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, but I would say ultimately it's a horror movie, so
Yeah,
just not a
basically.
scary one.
Yeah, it's a slasher.
Yeah, yeah. But yeah, it's not a scary slasher. And I wouldn't say the movie is as scary as the movie we're about to talk about next either. Although maybe not for the reasons that it intended. So, but that was the one that you chose, Zach. So.
Yep, and I apologize for making us watch this I was too curious. It is the lowest rated movie on Letterboxd. So
I can.
Point
This might have
7.
been like the worst one I've seen. This was real tough.
yeah. I chose 2025, The World Enslaved by a Virus.
I keep wanting to call it The World is Enslaved by a Virus, but it's missing the is. So yeah, this one, all right, well, what would, in your words, how would you describe it?
A big pile of shit.
Yeah, I think that's safe to say for sure.
Like I knew it was gonna be kind of like this, but
It ended up being worse, I'd say, than
yeah,
expected. Yeah.
Way worse than I was expecting.
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, I'm glad I watched it because it means that I'll never have to watch it again.
Yeah.
So.
And I didn't realize it was made by German guys.
Yeah, that surprised me. That threw me off.
Yeah, because I thought it was gonna be like really right wing fucking Republicans from the US, but
Yeah.
Well, yeah, it ended up actually being less political and more like, I guess. Well, I mean, there is a little bit of politics in it because at the beginning they say that communism is all over the place or something like that.
That was funny shit.
Yeah. Meetings are illegal, traveling is illegal, and Christianity is illegal.
Yes, Christianity. So this is a Christian movie, and I don't have anything against Christian movies, for the record. I mean, I know they get a bad rep, but I mean, I tend to try to be open-minded about that. Like, I like to kind of argue that the movie The Tree of Life by Terrence Malick is a Christian movie. I mean, I know most would probably disagree, but
this is
that's
like Christian movie to the extreme.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
This is why they get a bad rap.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, this is kind of like the ultimate stereotype, like, for bad Christian propaganda. I would probably even go so far to call it at times. Like, that's what it kind of feels like.
Oh yeah.
Do you want to try to describe the plot, or do
There's
you want either of us to try to describe the plot? I don't know.
There's not a whole lot to it.
Yeah, I mean, most of the movie is just people ranting about Christianity, and that's it, really. Like,
Yeah.
So long too.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I guess this group of Christians are basically hiding out from the government because Christianity is illegal.
Mm-hmm.
And the whole movie they're trying to gather more people and bring the faith back to the world.
Yes.
And every 20 minutes is a Christian music video.
Yeah.
Actually, that is one thing I will say I did like about this movie, because I always try to look for the good. And I will say I actually did enjoy the music in this quite a bit. Even though it was really bad, I enjoyed it, like, kind of on a perverse level. Like, I love that, what was it, hip hop version of Amazing Grace.
Yeah, that was funny.
That was like the best song.
I skipped through most of the music as soon as it started playing. I'm like, I know this is just filler bullshit. I'm gonna skip.
Yeah.
I did stick around for that rap one a little bit though.
Yeah.
3/4 of them are just them painting fishes. It wasn't like any of them were original. They were all just like painting fishes all over the place for 3 out of 4 of the music videos.
Yeah. Like, this is how we find other Christians. We draw a line and they finish it.
They didn't do that either.
No.
At one point, they're like painting fishes on piles of leaves that are probably going to be blown over by daylight.
Yep.
Yeah. And as soon as they like went up to a wall or something, it cut away. Like, they're not. Yeah. We don't want to actually vandalize things.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, a lot of this movie, they're like in a room.
Yeah, that was supposed to be an abandoned shack, but it was just someone's apartment bedroom.
It looked like a nice apartment too. So it's like and they're supposed to be in hiding, and like
Yeah, the room looked pretty cozy. Although the lack of posters was or anything really other than crosses was a little like,
Yeah,
I don't know.
crosses were strategically placed in every frame, pretty
Yeah.
much.
Yeah, this movie has more crosses in it than Evangelion. I mean, this movie is just nothing. It's Cross City, so
Yeah,
which is fine. I mean, again, like but the fish thing, they do kind of mention it at the beginning of the movie, as it being like the way. So in Roman times, when like Christians were trying to meet up, I guess they would paint fish. So they were trying to do that, but they didn't really explain it very well because the audio quality in this movie is really messy and like,
and the acting is shit.
yeah,
I don't think they
yeah.
had a script. I'm assuming they didn't even have a script.
No, especially for that. Like, I'm assuming he was an American dude.
My
Yeah.
favorite character in the whole movie.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Everyone
I
had
liked him.
thick German accents. I don't even know if they could really speak English for
Yeah.
like half of them, but except for this one guy who was obviously American. He had like
Oh
a
my God,
southern accent, probably even too, if I
I
remember
got
right.
so much joy out of watching him. Like he,
Yeah.
by far, my favorite character. There was even one moment in the movie. Like, there's so many strange little things and peculiarities that usually come with really bad movies. And there's this one scene where they ask him where he's from, and he's like, "Oh, I live like 20 minutes. Oh, I don't even know where I am right now. Like, I think I live like 20 minutes. Like, and it was like one of those moments where it almost felt like he was kidnapped and
Yeah,
forced
'cause
to
you
be in
could
a movie.
you
Yeah.
could tell that like there was no script, but he knew that we're in hiding, so he's like, "Oh, like 20 minutes. Wait, I don't know where we." Like trying to make up like, "Oh wait, we're hiding, so I don't even know where we are. I'm new here."
Yeah. um and meanwhile, there's like a subplot about like this hacker who eventually kind of joins their group after that one Johnny Depp looking dude quits. And like she shows up and it's like, I saw your what I forget, somehow she managed to like find where they were or something, and she was able to use like her network hacking to communicate with other Christians.
Yeah,
And then
because the
they,
internet's being watched.
yeah,
The whole
yeah,
internet.
Mhm.
which I mean, it doesn't seem like a very good. I mean, these people really don't do a good job of hiding. Um, I just can't help but feel like this movie was just made by really paranoid people. Just in general, just
Felt
because
that
the
way, yeah.
overall like persecution complex that these characters, like the script is all about and focused on, it just seems so like, I guess, like, I don't understand why they. Oh, okay. I guess my biggest problem with the movie is that it doesn't really make it clear why they can't really practice their Christianity. Honestly, it's
Because the
like they say that
government,
it's
man.
Yeah.
like, yeah, they say that it's illegal, but as far as I can tell, the movie is kind of only positing the idea that it's illegal to have a Bible and it's illegal to have crosses. But
Yeah, I
everything else they're
think
talking about, yeah,
maybe the whole thing at the beginning where they're like, gatherings are illegal, meetings are illegal. Maybe that started that, and I don't know.
yeah,
I mean, they arrest Christians for being Christian during the movie.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I guess I just didn't get a good grasp of like how they were able to figure it, because it wouldn't be that hard for these people to just pretend to not be Christian but still live a Christian life. Like, I don't feel like they need to necessarily constantly have meetings or talk to other Christians to be Christian, like it just seemed kind of vague, I guess. Like,
Maybe
it's
they're
supposed to be a dystopian society, but I just didn't get a good
yeah.
sense of the dystopian elements, I guess. But
Maybe
yeah, go on.
this was their Holocaust, according to them. That's what I kind of got from it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Because at the beginning of the movie, when he's like reading, because he's German and he's reading the old school like German like law book, and he said, again, he doesn't really explain it very well because, like you guys said, it felt like the movie doesn't really have a script, but it appears to be that whenever a new law gets created, he crosses out the law that is like like basically like the equivalent of that in Nazi Germany in his German law book, and then like he reads them out loud in the interrogation room. He also talks about ice cream at one point. Like this guy is just a confusing mess. Like I don't understand the character. He like wears the same sweater throughout the whole film. There's dozens of shots where he's just constantly looking directly into the camera as if the things that he's trying to say are somehow going to be transferred into the mind of the audience. Yeah, I don't know. It's just not a very fully realized vision. It just felt like these people are like, oh, let's make a movie about Christians being persecuted, and took a few days, made it. I mean, the virus, it barely has anything to do with what's going on. There's only a few shots of the characters wearing masks.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I was like, I did feel that, yeah, everyone was like, it was an interesting watch, like these couple of movies, because like, okay, where are the mindset of these people that are making these? Like, what, why are they making these? And if like, why did they make this? Like, who is persecuting Christians during the actual pandemic? Like, I feel like they had to have felt threatened to make this movie. Like, they're trying to say, yeah, this is like, feels like they were just commentating on not being able to gather because of
right.
Social, whatever, the distancing stuff.
Yeah, when everybody had to kind of stay indoors, and
I felt like
not
they were
do
like feel
stuff.
like they were being prosecuted for being Christians, but it's like, no, we just don't want people to get sick. And like no one that I heard was hating on Christians during the pandemic. Why did the pandemic make Christianity illegal in this movie? I don't know.
Yeah, something happened in Germany that we don't know about.
Yeah, I mean, even the local church group where I live, like they were still meeting. They were just being socially distanced, and that's it. Like, and obviously they were wearing masks, and it was outdoors and stuff. And I think at one point they decided to go the Zoom meeting route when the numbers went up. But like, I don't know, it didn't seem like people were still finding ways to communicate with each other. It's not like all forms of communication and socialization were completely cut off. I mean, maybe they were in other countries, but
and these a lot of Christians are anti-maskers as well, so it's like even if they did have this, they wouldn't care. They'd go anyways.
Yeah. And actually, one of the funny things about this movie is that the only characters I saw wearing masks were the Christians.
Yeah.
They were definitely wearing them just because they had to film this. Like,
oh yeah, probably.
Tell they didn't want to wear them.
Yeah, and they wore them, but they wore them in the opposite places that you'd expect. Like they'd either wear them outdoors or like in like large areas. But then when they were inside, next, like all circling in with each other, ranting at each other about Christianity, none of them were wearing masks during those scenes. So I gotta open my bedroom door so my cat can leave. Hold on. Ugh, such a pain in the ass. All right. Okay, sorry about that. There's a scene where they gather around a campfire and sing songs.
Oh yeah, that one was annoying. I didn't like that one.
Yeah, that was weird. Some of the songs sounded like they could have been interesting, but the audio was. I mean, everybody like the music was louder than a lot of the voices.
Yeah,
sometimes they were even at the same
loud.
level. Yeah.
Like I had to keep turning it down because my wife's trying to sleep.
Yeah. This is definitely a movie that you need subtitles for. Unfortunately, Tubi didn't offer them for me, so.
Oh, I had them on. They weren't great, but
yeah. I couldn't get mine to work for some reason. I pressed the button, but they just wouldn't appear. So I had to really focus on what the characters were saying. Yeah.
Oh, that's rough.
Yeah, it was a tricky one. The scenes with the hacker at her job, or what? I guess she has a job working for like the government.
I was confused about this because wasn't the hacker a different person than this lady?
Yeah, I was confused about that too. Like there's 3 girls that kept coming and going. And I was like,
And they all
Okay.
looked similar as
Yeah.
well. Like, I
Yeah.
think the hacker was a different person than the government lady.
Okay, that makes sense. Because like it was hard to tell. Like you said, they all looked similar, and so many shots were like kind of from a distance. So
yeah,
like yeah,
cinematography was horrible.
Yeah.
pretty spotty.
It was like, hey, I just bought a drone. Hey, I just bought a gimbal. I don't know how to use it, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, hey, look, I just learned how to use the fade transition. Let's use it every other scene in between dialogue takes.
yeah, I remember there was one scene there, like walking around a corner and it just goes right into the wall.
Yeah,
Like
I hate
half of
that.
them aren't even framed right. Like some of them, their face were cut off halfway while they were talking.
Yeah, that was really confusing. Then all the scenes in the office, like it was just like typical villain. All the bad guys in this movie are overly aggressive in the way they talk and present themselves, which I guess is the movie's way of saying that everybody who isn't a Christian is an aggressor. They are constantly handing this girl like manila folders with different numbers and names on them. Somehow
Which
I guess she has like all these Christian, or the hacker lady like hacked into the government database of Christian numbers is what she called them. Like,
I didn't understand that.
yeah,
They
and
they kept handing them the folder to people with there's no paper inside.
Yeah.
yeah, that was stupid. Like, uh, yeah, and then at one point they talk about how they've reached like 100 million people in Asia,
Yeah,
but
but
they,
every time he went to talk to a group of people, there's just like 4 or 5 people.
yeah, and they never said where in Asia either. They just said
Just said
Asia,
Asia.
down in Asia. We gotta hand these discs out to people in Asia. Like,
Yeah.
all right. I will say the movie does kind of pick up in a big way though in the last 5 minutes. I mean, at least in my opinion. I don't know. Do you want to talk about it, or should I try to describe it?
Kind of hazy on the last
Oh,
5 minutes. I'm like
All right. Well,
checked
here's
out
what
at that
happened.
point.
Yeah, no worries. It's fine. Here's what happened. So somehow these evil anti-Christian people are managed to locate where this resistance group is hiding out. They show up there. They get this really intense techno music that's playing. It's like kind of like a combination of techno and house.
Oh, it's because
You
that
know?
one dude betrayed him. He was the Judas.
Oh yeah.
Okay, yeah, the Johnny Depp character. He turns into Judas and tells because I only call him the Johnny Depp character because he looks kind of like. Do you guys ever see Tim and Eric's big Hollywood movie?
I
Like,
didn't.
Yeah.
okay, well at the beginning, like Diamond Jim, the Johnny Depp actor in that looks a lot like this guy. So,
Man, I gotta rewatch that one.
oh god, it's so funny. But anyway, so yeah, so they show up, they ruffle through all their Christian stuff, but turns out the hero, I don't know what happened to the other two people. They just fucked off somewhere. The hero got in his car and started, trying to escape, like, which you kind of see at the beginning of the movie because the film
Yeah.
starts off
Which
like in the future.
3 months later or earlier.
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
That chase scene's hilarious.
Oh my god. Yeah.
Oh, funniest chase scene ever. I do like the fact that we got to see it twice.
Yeah. It's like the first cop car you see was that BMW, and it was clearly a rental because they didn't want to drive it in the grass.
Yeah.
And just a random Jeep shows up with a couple
Yeah.
blue lights on it.
Yeah, that was great. Oh, and when they finally like basically get him to pull over, he does like this weird like roll over the hood of his car for some reason.
And even
Yeah.
before that, like he crashes into
Yeah.
the side where it's just like he slowly drives in like off the road and then like they speed it up.
Yeah.
And like I think they would just add a crashing sound effect too or some shit.
Just something, yeah. Like I don't know. It was ridiculous. And then
Yeah, and he does try to do that hood jump thing, but he kind of fucks it up and just kind of crawls over.
Yeah.
yeah, he surrenders himself after trying to look cool. And then that's when he starts getting interrogated by the cop, and, you know, all that stuff. And the guy who's interrogating him is funny too, because he's like, "Yes, I remember how things were in the before time." So the movie's trying to kind of say maybe this cop is maybe somebody like him could be changed or something like that. But then his superior says, "Execute him, get rid of the body. You know, he's too dangerous." After hearing his story. So then they put him in a car and drive him out to the middle of the woods. And then the movie basically just ends like pretty much the same way that Last of the Night did. They shoot him in the face, the end.
Mm-hmm.
And literally that's the end, because then it cuts to black and it says, like, what did it say? Special thanks to our Lord Savior. What it's
Yeah,
special thanks to Jesus.
To our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. Yeah.
Yeah. Right after we see the hero of the movie get gatted right in the head. Special thanks to Jesus.
Yep.
And then there's also like a blooper reel, which kind of shows that the actors had a lot more fun. Yeah, the actors had a lot more fun making the movie than probably everybody did watching it. More than likely, I would say.
Yeah. The bloopers were dumb too, though.
Yeah, although I was happy to get a few more shots, like a little bit more of that Marine dude who I thought was so funny. Like I think if he hadn't been in the movie, then this might have been like the worst movie ever for me. Like he was just that little ray of hope that I had, you know, just yeah. I just liked his whole backstory where he's like, I used to be in the Marines, but you know, then everybody started siding more with the government, which I didn't really understand, because if you're in the Marines, then aren't you kind of like trying to support, like be supportive of the government? Like that's the way he said that was really funny. And then he said, but what was worse was when they made us try to recite the new law or something like that, and I couldn't do it because I don't speak to anybody except for Jesus. And it was just like one of those, again, it just came out funny. That didn't make any sense. It's like, if you don't speak to anybody other than Jesus, then why did you join the Marines in the first place, type of thing. Like,
yeah, he was hilarious. There was also a scene where like the main characters, like the dude and the girl, were brother and sister that lost their parents.
Yeah.
And as she was telling him this, he responded with, "Yeah, I know how you feel, but my parents are alive still, but you know, I kind of lost them."
Yeah.
I know what it's like to lose parents, even though mine are still alive.
Yeah. Oh God. And then I can't forget the part where the hacker lady showed up. She like knocks on the door. She just knocks. That's all she does. And he says, "What? Oh, you sold us out." He like randomly starts yelling at that guy. Like, it's like, if you didn't want people to meet with you, why are you drawing fish everywhere? Like, come on, dude. Like, that's what I mean about this whole paranoid thing, is just the film just feels like it was made by really, really paranoid people, you know? So
yeah.
Yeah, because it doesn't feel like, whatever the message of this film is, it just doesn't quite feel in touch with reality. Like, I get the sense that the people who made this movie got very wrapped up in their own ideas and feelings and concepts about what was going on, that they sort of just lost touch with how like the normal person thinks about just life and people in general. I mean, like, there's even a scene where the Marine guy says that he lost his job in the Marines because of the new law, but at the same time he was the one who quit. Yeah. So it's like he didn't really lose his job, he quit. Like, just things like that just indicate some kind of persecutive complex, like, that exists outside of the boundaries of this movie, and we're just kind of being subjected to the complex of it. You know, we're victims of it at this point because we sat through the whole thing. So
yeah, brutal.
Yeah.
That reminds me when that girl, when she was telling him about how she lost her job. It's like, I just lost my job. Now I just spray paint fish.
That's
That was
hilarious.
yeah. And then she also got she also got shot in the beginning in the
Oh, right,
arm,
yeah.
acting like she was gonna die from being shot in one of the best places you could get shot.
Yeah, and it looked like it just grazed her too. One of those grazing. It didn't like actually like hit her in the arm. It just
Oh
grazed her.
yeah. And then the Marine dude is like, "Oh, just put pressure on it," and all this stuff. What else happened? Oh, there's also isn't there like also like a marriage proposal somewhere in there too? I seem to
Oh
remember.
yeah.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
was at the end, like some kind of montage had going on. I don't know if that was like the future or the past that we didn't see.
Yeah.
I
Maybe he was.
thought it was like a possible thing, maybe even though it didn't happen. I don't know. It wasn't. It
Oh
was like
yeah.
as he was about to get shot, he like what could have been kind of thing. I thought.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Like
Yeah,
this is what it's like in heaven or something.
because
Oh yeah.
because
There you go.
that girl he
Like
had that
that's.
awkward kiss with.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was the government lady. She was being a spy type girl.
Yeah,
Okay.
the
Okay,
one
that
that
makes.
was stealing the files that we have no idea about.
What they even were. Yeah, I was like, here are the latest number. I don't know. Like, was it infected people or Christians? I don't really know. Like,
Yeah. It was nuts. This whole movie was just nuts. It's just a nutty movie in general, and
mhm.
probably the nuttiest thing we've watched. And I mean nutty as in just like didn't feel like it was made by somebody who
Was
had
human.
a yeah, it felt like an AI generated Christian movie is what it felt like.
Yeah,
So,
could have been. Yeah.
so so what would you both rate it?
Half a star.
That's the lowest. Yes, that.
Okay. Well, I think I'll give it 1 star, maybe 1.5. I
Oh
think
shit.
I mean, I'm trying to be at least somewhat fair. Like, I see maybe some slivers of ideas that could be okay. Like, I like the whole idea of the Marine like joining up with this group and doing like actual Marine stuff to help them. I like the idea of maybe some kind of like government resistance thing and like like I don't actually I think that there is a cool thing that could happen with like this idea of like Christianity being made illegal, and maybe the film could actually try to sort of find the line a little bit between what it means to actually be a Christian and what it means to not be a Christian. Like maybe a remake with a bigger budget and like a script doctor and
A script.
like maybe some better maybe like an actual script would be helpful. Maybe just whoever made this movie, they need a lot of work. They needed
It's,
more people to help them.
the main actor did everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'd have to say like this was not an all hands on deck kind of situation. He definitely needed more help making this because it's just not fully realized. It's like he had an idea of what he wanted to make. He wanted to make a movie about Christians being persecuted, because that did happen at one point. And what would that look like in a COVID society? But it just sucked, like really, really bad. Although I thought the jokes that the Marine said, like they were really bad jokes, but the way he delivered them was kind of funny. Like, not so much the first one, but like the one where he said, "What's a fish without what's a
Oh,
fish
without
without
an
a
eye.
without an eye?" Like, I get what he was trying. It's like the sound of the spray can. Like, okay, ha ha ha. But it's like again, like maybe if they had cut to like him using the spray can immediately afterward, like it would have connected better with the audience. The joke would have made more sense.
I
Also,
think
this movie
character had a
definitely.
weird reaction to that joke, by the way, too. He just laughed it off and like sprayed this air with the spray paint and just kind of walked through it too. I was like, what the fuck? Why would you?
Yeah.
You just walk through some spray paint.
Oh yeah, that's another. These actors were very spray paint happy. It's like they were trying to use all of it. Not a very economic way to go about making a movie. I mean, yeah. And also one more thing. when you edit your every scene in time with the song, it really draws a lot of attention to itself. Like that's something that you do for a music video. That's not something you do with a movie. I mean, I took videography classes in high school, and that was like one of the first lessons I learned.
Yeah.
Yeah, and this movie like did that with every single music sequence, was edit the shots in time with the music, which the shots were, you know, synchronized really perfectly, but it drew so much attention to itself, like, and not so much to what the characters were doing. So yeah, this movie has a lot of problems. I don't know if I'd say, I don't know that it deserves a 0.7 on Letterboxd, but I could definitely see why it has such a low rating, because it is pretty bad and really hard to sit through.
Yeah.
I think that's all I had to say. What about you guys?
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, this felt like a Neil Breen slash Tommy Wiseau movie, but not funny.
Not brilliant like those two are.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. I could see what you mean, because like the lead actor, he does kind of have an awkward presence about him, like those two guys do, you know. So, but it's not awkward enough though.
Yeah. And too Christian.
Yeah.
Yeah, too Christian and too robotic.
Yeah. He definitely came off as like he was trying to portray himself as Jesus too. Like he's the new Jesus.
Yeah. Neil Breen does that too, but at least it's entertaining.
Yes. So yeah, 2025, the world enslaved by a virus is not recommended by a couple of Flicks podcast.
No.
Stay away.
This might be the worst we've done for the show, for me at least.
Yeah, I think it might be there as well for me.
Yeah, definitely one of the most painful,
Yeah.
for sure.
So apologies again.
At least, you know, but okay, at least I could see what the actors' faces looked like, though, which is more than I could say about Terror on Tour.
Yeah, so that one needs a Blu-ray upgrade.
Yes, definitely. But yeah, that's pretty much it. That concludes our pandemic. Even though, I mean, even though neither of the films didn't really have a whole lot to do with the pandemic, still they were both, you know, made in the COVID world during the time of COVID, and they were related to the COVID. So I would still call them pandemic movies.
Yeah.
In a loose use of the word, you know. So rest in peace to everyone who lost their lives. And then because that was, I mean, obviously that was a tough couple of years for everybody. But part 2 is going to be less related to the pandemic specifically, and more related to pandemics in general.
Yeah. Not the pandemic, but a pandemic.
Yes. Because we're going to be doing a double feature of 2 movies. Both versions of The Crazies, the original 1970s George Romero version, and I think it was 2010
I think
remake.
So,
yeah. That's what we're going to be talking about in our part 2 of pandemic episodes. So I'm looking forward to that. That'll be very interesting.
Yeah.
First time we've done a compare contrast thing, I think, right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I believe so. But it'll be exciting, I think, you know. So
yeah.
So do either of you gentlemen have anything more you want to add or say?
I don't think so.
No, I think I'm good.
All right. Well, this was a very, very interesting episode, and I definitely look forward to, because this whole theme was chosen totally at random, and I'm looking forward to doing that more.
Yeah.
There
was some good stuff.
Yeah. All right. Well, have a good night, everybody. And thanks again for watching and listening. And yeah, like and subscribe.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. Have a good one.
See ya.